We would love to hear your opinion on that. Next news piece, we've got the Batman news.
I'm
There
Batman.
is rumored to be a spin-off series about the Penguin that is currently in development at HBO Max. Now, this is specifically Colin, is it Farrell or Farrell?
I think it's Farrell.
Colin Farrell's Penguin that
Yes.
we have seen in this upcoming Batman movie starring Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne. It is going to be his portrayal. So, I'll be completely honest. This just is probably my Star Wars brain that clicked. And I know if you're over on Discord, you got a tease of this. Whenever I hear of a spin-off series or movie or trilogy being announced before the original product has been shown to audience, I get hesitant because slight Star Wars plug here, because of the Star Wars, The Last Jedi, with Rian Johnson. Before The Last Jedi came out, Rian Johnson was greenlit an entire trilogy, and at this point, we really don't know if we're ever going to see it. So with that said, I guess I'm always just a little nervous when this happens, because if the Batman comes out and the Penguin specifically for some reason doesn't click with people are going to be upset and they don't want to see this thing. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I personally think that Batman is going to be incredible. I think Robert Pattinson is going to be great. I think Colin Farrell is going to be great as Penguin, and I'll be very excited to see his portrayal as that character in his own show. And I think we even got that like with Suicide Squad recently with Peacemaker. They confirmed his own show before the movie itself actually came out, and I think that actually worked okay in a sense.
Yeah.
But what do you think about all this?
Well, on the Peacemaker thing, really. Well, before I say that, Tristan's back in the chat. He's excited about Batman, and then he says Robert Pattinson as Batman is kind of funny because vampires tend to be bats. All right, Tristan. Full disclosure, I know this guy. Tristan, shut up. Like, listen. He's done a lot since Twilight. Give the man a break.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson's very talented. He's very talented at what he does. Now, I will, like you said, Tristan, it ain't too good in Twilight. It ain't too good, but he's
I've never seen
good.
Twilight.
He's very good at this point.
Well, okay, and the thing about Peacemaker you brought up, I didn't know that he had a show confirmed before the movie was released. However, after seeing that movie and the light little tease there towards the end of it and how they kind of set that up for his show, I don't want to spoil it in case you're still holding out on the Suicide Squad. I was pleased with that. I think that that's exciting because, okay, listen, here's the facts. I could give a rip about John Cena. Now, I know there's people out there, you hardcore WWE fans out there, love John Cena or hate John Cena. I mean, I know that there's some rivalry across the wrestling world there with him. But with that being said, I really liked him in the Suicide Squad. I thought he was hilarious. I thought in him and Idris Elba having their little contest there in that one scene where they're just pop. All right, well, I can do you one better. And they do this whole one-up thing. Again, not wanting to spoil that for people who haven't seen it, was like, oh, that's what this movie is. That if you had to say what is the Suicide Squad, it's that scene. Yeah. And John Cena is a major part of that. So the fact that he's getting a spinoff show is great. Now back to the Batman. Colin Farrell, I believe is how his name is pronounced. I've always heard it pronounced that way, so I'm going to continue to.
Yeah, for some reason I'm just struggling with my words tonight. Apparently,
you're thinking of Pharrell Williams,
maybe
of Despicable Me fame, but no. Anyway, him having this thing confirmed, I think, is a really good thing. I think this is great because, I don't think this is going to be a Rian Johnson Last Jedi situation. And here's the thing. I think Kathy Kennedy was on some sort of high, like she was riding some kind of wave in that moment when she said, and Last Jedi is awesome. And then you're going to get a trilogy for Ryan. Like, I remember watching that and thinking that's kind of crazy. Like, and we had just seen this trailer. Keep in mind, this is, 2017. I don't remember exactly when, but I remember seeing that trailer and thinking, this is not, literally like what Luke says, this is not going to go the way you think. And I was like, okay, this movie's weird. And so tying this back to Batman, I know we're not talking about Star Wars. I'm sorry. It's really easy for me to talk about Star Wars.
Sure.
But
we'll do that
I know
Thursday.
I know it is for you too, man. So like, it's one of those things where it's like, I gotta chill out. But Penguin, I feel like, going back to that tweet thread we talked about a couple weeks back, I think it was our first episode of Geekverse where we talked about that. Somebody actually said him. Oh no, they were talking about the Riddler, weren't they?
Yeah,
well, either way, Colin Farrell looks really cool in this movie. I don't know if you still have the image. If you could throw that image of him back up there, Caleb, so we can kind of check it out again.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
If you look at his face and the way they've done the makeup and the way they've made him just look like a bad guy, I mean, for me, the Penguin will always be Danny DeVito in the 1990 Batman Returns, which is great. I love Danny DeVito as the Penguin. But at the same time, when you look at this particular image of Colin Farrell as the Penguin, he's got this nasty looking scar under his face, and he looks like he's just mad about something. It looks like he's looking at Batman for the first time in this particular image.
Okay.
And the fact that, like, that's how I'm looking at it. That's my personal headcanon for now. He just looks really, really freaking cool. Like, he just looks like a cool penguin. And if you look at the penguins we've had in the past, you've got Burgess Meredith. Shout out to all the Rocky fans out there. Mickey, Rocky's trainer, played the Penguin in the 60s, in case you didn't know that. If you're listening, I mean, he's funny because he's like, wah, 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 every time he laughs, and it's so funny. You got Danny DeVito, who likes to bite people on the nose. Then you had, what's his name from Gotham. I think that we've just one-upped Penguin every time, and that we're getting a nice little spinoff. I'm like, give it to me, because I like the Penguin. I like the umbrellas. I think they're fun. I think the top hat's fun. It's very, I don't know, it's just like comical to see anybody wear a top hat. Like, I laugh when I see pictures of John F. Kennedy wearing a top hat back in the day. So the fact that Penguin is going to be here, I think it's cool. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great idea. I think it's going to do well. I'm going to watch it. I know I'm going to watch it because I love Batman.
Yeah. And let's be real too here. I think that the HBO Max is trying to make moves to make themselves as relevant as Disney Plus. And giving Peacemaker, giving Penguin, giving all of these DC characters their own shows is probably how they're going to get into that game. Did I cut you off? You have anything you were going to
No,
I
probably needed to be cut off and be real honest with you, because like I feel like I'm very passionate about these kinds of things, like, because I care so much about Batman as a character. I think that these kinds of side stories, maybe, I don't know if this is an origin story. I doubt it is. I don't think we need another Penguin origin story. We've had it twice, so it doesn't really, I think, need to come back around. But no, I don't really have anything else to say other than that. I actually am very excited for it. I'm probably more excited about this than, I'd say I'm definitely more excited about this than Venom. For a lot of reasons.
That's fair.
I think I'm more excited about this than The Last Duel, even though The Last Duel really gets me hyped.
I don't know if I'm with you on that one.
I just want to see something weird.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Penguin's weird.
Yeah,
like he's just a weird character. So I want to see that. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Now, we had a good question here in the chat that I wanted to talk about before we got on to our next news piece. Jordan in the chat says, which Suicide Squad did y'all like better? I'll be completely honest with you. This recent one, I think, has been more critically acclaimed compared to the first one. But I think I enjoyed them equally. Like, I had just as much fun with both of them. I think this new one is a better, like, product, like a film, if you will. But as far as entertainment value goes, for me, I had the same amount of fun with them. So I don't really lean toward one versus the other.
I am not that way. I will say this, where I do agree with you. I think the Suicide Squad, the most recent one, 2021, James Gunn's directed, that one was better. It was better in a lot of ways. Yeah. But I feel very biased towards the first Suicide Squad. And I don't really know why. I think it was just this special time in my life where I was really enjoying new superhero content.
Yeah.
I was super into Arrow and Flash. and Gotham was coming out at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So when Suicide Squad came out, I was just like, I was foaming at the mouth for something like this because it was so weird and different. Like I just said with Penguin, I want something weird. And both of the Suicide Squads, you know, are weird. That's probably a good way to put it. Best part in the new one was him going, "That's your mom!" Like that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen the Suicide Squad, then sorry. But at the same time, Suicide Squad for me got me more excited. And for me, music has a lot to do with that. The soundtrack for Suicide Squad, 2016 or 17.
Yeah.
Just, oh man, that was a time. That was an exciting time. And I loved that movie.
Fair enough. Well, listen, I am so excited for Robert Pattinson's Batman film that's coming out. Speaking of Nirvana earlier, that trailer that they put out for Batman last year with Nirvana's song, the track on it, that trailer honestly might be in my top 3 trailers of all time. Like I loved that trailer. So if you have not seen that Batman trailer with Robert Pattinson with great Nirvana music, check it out. It'll get you going and very excited to see the next Batman film. But what do you think about the Penguin getting his own spin-off show on HBO Max? Let us know what you think of that news. DJ, what you got?
Off topic. Courtney Love did it. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. We got one other question right about this. Tristan wants us to know, or wants to ask us which Justice League was better while we're still in the DC world.
Sure.
Real quick. It's Zack Snyder. It's Snyder Cut.
Yes. That's all I was going to say. Short answer. Snyder Cut. Easy.
Snyder Cut.
Easy.
Easy.
All right. Next news piece.